Welcome to the show. I'm Danella, and here's what's happening now. Wildfires continue to rage across Northern California, taking lives, homes, and businesses. You'd be surprised to hear who's working alongside the firefighters there. And also, oh yes she did. Did you hear the mayor of San Juan? Well, she called Trump the hater-in-chief. We'll talk about that and his latest executive order that landed him smack dab in political pop. And also on deck is In Our World. And this week we're going to be talking about 5 steps towards reducing your carbon footprint. Now, you definitely don't want to miss it because not only are you helping to save the world, but you're also going to save money. Now, first, let's get into the wildfires that are still ravaging parts of Northern California. So far, they're saying about 31 people so far have died. Hundreds of people are still missing there. Authorities are saying these are the worst wildfires they've ever seen. Authorities there are also saying that some of the bodies are burned so badly that they cannot recognize them. At least 200 other fire trucks from just different parts of our country have gone there to help fight. And in addition, I'm seeing reports of 60 inmates are out as well, helping to fight the fires there. Let's talk about some of the businesses. So, of course, we know wine country taking a big hit there. Also, there are a lot of marijuana farms out there. Now, I didn't know this. Some of you may. I didn't know this, but for marijuana farms, it's illegal for them to get any type of insurance. And so marijuana there isn't officially legal until 2018. So, unfortunately, a lot of the farmers that were preparing to distribute their product, these are just total losses for them as well. So I know every week we talk about praying, and I'm really thinking of amending it to pray for our world. But if you want to be specific, let's continue to pray for the people that are fighting the wildfires there, that are dealing with the wildfires there. Again, this is total devastation. Everything that they owned, I mean, it's unimaginable if you're not from a climate like that, just gone. And for the people there, they said that, I believe this was on Wednesday, for some of the homes, they said that there was a fire in the distance as they were about to go to sleep. And then next thing they know, they're awakened in the middle of the night to actual fire just landing in their yards, front yard, backyard. One person said that they saw an ember land on a tree, and then the tree was just poof, gone. And then that happened to about 2 other trees. So let's just continue to pray for them as well. Total devastation. Going to keep watching the situation. Keep in mind, you know about the drought there, and they're saying that what's making this fire, well, these fires so difficult to put out is because they're dealing with 5 years of drought. So the vegetation there is super dry. The wind, they've seen winds as high as 45 miles per hour. Again, just making this a very difficult situation to fight. So I will continue to watch that. Now, let's talk about the situation in Puerto Rico. So if you followed this, or if you follow the political pops that we do, I talk about that. So what happened was, Trump sent out a tweet. It was a really busy day for him yesterday. So let's talk about what kicked it off. So he sent out a tweet, and the tweet was saying that basically in Puerto Rico, hey, he's not going to keep the emergency workers there forever. And he also shifts blame on Puerto Rico, saying that they should accept it. A lot of the problems with their infrastructure, he feels, is their own fault. Their debt, their own fault. So he sends out this tweet, and the mayor of San Juan replies, he's the hater-in-chief. Yes, she also says, POTUS, it is not that you do not get it. You are incapable of fulfilling the moral imperative to help the people of Puerto Rico. Shame on you. Shame on you. Let's talk about the crisis there and what's still going on. So far, it's nearly 3 weeks since Hurricane Maria. Still, 113 people missing, at least 45 people dead there. Only 10% of the island, they're saying, has electricity, just 10%. They're saying also almost 47% still do not have phone service. 43% of the island's banks are still closed. And also, reports are coming in that people are drinking contaminated water, that water's contaminated by dead animals. And so far, 2 people are dead as a result there. Now, and still our administration, you know what they say? They say the efforts in Puerto Rico are great. Yeah, he says that the government's response is great, that we're doing a great job. Yeah, I said this in Political Pup the other day, but yeah, we got to mail a dictionary to the White House so they can truly define what the word great means. And this is going to lead us smack dab into Political Pop. So yes, Political Pop, today Trump back in it again. Here's what happened. Yesterday was busy. We just talked about how he warned that the emergency workers there will not be in Puerto Rico forever. Yeah, threatening Puerto Rico. He also removed the U.S. from the United Nations Scientific and Cultural Organization. Yeah, both the U.S. and Israel left yesterday, saying that it's anti-Israeli bias there. That's why the U.S. is no longer involved. And so what this organization does is protect cultures that are under attack. That's what they do. And now, the U.S. is no longer in it. But that's not it. Also, he signed an executive order on healthcare. So we've been following this Congress completely unable so far to repeal or reform the Affordable Care Act. And so now Trump has issued an executive order. So here's what I'm understanding about the order, and we'll talk about it. The biggest thing that Trump is pushing, is that this allows small businesses to connect to other small businesses, right? So they can act as one big business in order to purchase insurance for their employees. He boasts that they'll also be able to, connect with insurers that are across state line. And so he feels that this is going to be great for businesses and employees. And what the critics are saying is there's 2 key problems from what I'm understanding. The first key problem that they're saying is that when you do this, it's going to then create a situation where the younger, healthier people get better benefits. And the older, more sickly people, they don't have the best benefits. They'll have to get a cheaper plan with less benefits. That's what the critics are saying is one of the problems. Now, the other problem that they're saying is that with Obamacare, remember, if you were under Obamacare, any insurance company you dealt with, they had restrictions that really demanded that you get the services you need, whether it be healthcare for women, whether it be any type of doctor that you needed. It was guaranteed that you would be able to have access to that. Well, in the new situation that we're dealing with in this executive order is that there are no regulations. So insurers can offer you whatever they want to offer you. They don't have to offer you the best at the best price. They can offer you scraps at which you can afford. So, all this, man, he was busy yesterday. All this happened before lunch. I liked it better when he was on the golf course. And that is your Political Pop. Now, I want to talk to you about a conversation I had with a really good friend of mine. This was just the other day, and this would lead us into In Our World in just a moment. But I didn't know this. This is from my good friend Jen. Man, I've known her all of my adult life and the majority of my life. And I am the godmommy of her son. Or anyway, we're just catching up, FaceTiming. And she's talking to me about the difficulty there since they've banned all plastic bags. Now, I'm in the Maryland, D.C., Virginia area. And here, if you go to stores, you have access to bags, plastic bags. You just have to pay for them. And we've noticed that it's really reduced the amount of plastic, because for us, we're really trying to protect the Chesapeake Bay. And they also noticed that they've collected so much money from people actually having to buy bags because sometimes they forget to bring their bags. But now it's been going on several years, and so we're getting better about remembering to bring our bags. But in Kenya, it's not just shopping bags, it's plastic bags, period. plastic bags. So you know how you take out your trash and put it in the trash bag? Yeah, that's gone. And so what she was saying, the problem is that they issued the rule, and the rule is you have a fine of what I'm seeing is $38,000 or a possible prison sentence of up to 4 years if you're caught carrying a plastic bag. Now, there have been no arrests so far. This situation started in August. Apparently, I believe this is in the last 10 years, this is their third time trying to ban the plastic bags. In other African countries, there's several others that have banned plastic bags. I don't know if you know this. I didn't. This includes Eritrea and Rwanda. But imagine how bad the situation is for the government to say no plastic bags. And in Kenya, as I was mentioning, there's so far no infrastructure, meaning they issued this, but they didn't necessarily really start supplying, the reusable cotton bags, paper bags. They didn't do that. Also, they told the sanitation providers that for you have to issue all of your customers one plastic bag, and the customers will have to use that plastic bag with your logo on it, and they'll have to reuse that bag. So here's the problem. They get one bag. My understanding, it's one bag a week, I believe. One bag a week. So all your trash has to fit in that one bag. So on one end, it's good because it's really making you try to use reduce your waste. One part of it is bad because in Kenya, they're also fighting the locals burning trash. That's one of the big problems there too. A lot of people burn trash. So they may, if they have to reduce their trash into one bag only, they may burn it more. But let's go back to these sanitation workers. They don't have the bags. So they, so far, like I said, this started in August, it's October, they still haven't supplied their customers with the bag. So on one end, it's great because they're really trying to reduce their carbon footprint, because plastic bags, oh man, huge problem in Africa. Even the cows there will graze and eat the plastic bags, and then that can contaminate the beef that the people eat there. So yeah, they're really trying to help their environment. But again, when I was talking to her, it really just made me think about the crisis that our planet is in. And I've really been thinking about this a lot, especially as a mom. With my son, he eats a lot of fruit, and a lot of times just he's two, and so the skin of the fruit is something that, if I'm giving him apples, a lot of times I just take it off right now until he's a better chewer. So I just take it off, and as I'm shaving it, I'm like, man, I wish I knew a way to compost this. Like, I don't know how to do that. So it just started me thinking about reusing things, even with his food, like trying to wash out old glass jars and seeing how I can reuse them, right? So that's going to lead us to In Our World and 5 steps toward reducing your carbon footprint. And these are 5 easy things that you can do. And I want to talk to you about them because we all like saving money. That's the main thing. I love saving the planet. That's my mission, right? I love that. That may not be what you want to do. You want to save money. So let me talk to you about 5. These are pretty easy steps that you can do within your home, outside of your home, that can help reduce your carbon footprint as well as save you money. So I'm going to start with something that we do that I'm good at, and then I'll go to what I'm not good at. So step number 1, unplug appliances that aren't being used. Now, if you think about this, think about if you have a coffee maker, televisions, even when you turn those off, they still run electricity. Because they go into a standby mode. So the idea is if you unplug these appliances, especially the ones that you're not using, maybe a blender, toaster, you're going to save yourself electricity, right? Saving yourself money. And one of the things that we did was we have our computers on power strips. Our televisions and entertainment system on a power strip. That way you can just turn off the power strip, everything shuts down, and you can turn it on. Oh, and one other thing, if you are a Comcast cable provider, if they are your cable provider. When we had Comcast, don't have them anymore, but when we had Comcast, one of the things they do is offer energy saving power strips. I was just talking about those. You can call them up, and the cool thing is as soon as you turn off your TV, they have power strips that completely shut down. So I'm sure they're not just offered by Comcast. Just saying, if Comcast is your provider, they offer them for free. Also, a lot of electrical companies too offer power strips as well that have a similar feature. So call your electric company. If you have cable, call your cable provider and see if they have any kind of ways that you can make your home more energy efficient. I can tell you they definitely will save you money. Now, step number 2, reduce, reuse, recycle. Now, before you buy something new, think to yourself, do I really need it? And then think to yourself, if I do need it, is it something I could get used? That way, you could maybe go through yard sales, thrift shops, consignment stores, even online, and then you're reusing. That's good. This is one thing I love doing. Are you familiar with MAC's recycling program? If you love MAC makeup, I'm not trying to advertise MAC, but I do like their makeup. But I really also like the fact that they have a recycling program. So let's say you use their eyeshadow, their lipstick, their blush. Save the containers. You get up to 10. You return them into MAC. And then MAC will give you a free eyeshadow or a free lipstick. I think that's great. I think it's very great. If you shop there often, that's a great way to get yourself free products. So I'm not sure if you know that, but that's another way to reduce, recycle, reuse. Now on to number 3. Let's talk about steps you can take in the laundry room. Did you know that if you wash your clothes in cold water, that will save you 90% of the energy used in a normal wash cycle? So in general, I tend to wash in cold water, except if I'm dealing with whites. But now that has me thinking, can I wash whites in cold water? Yeah, 90% you'd be saving in the energy used. That's really good. Also, the other thing, and I'm better at this part, is when you're washing smaller loads, use less water. And then I'm not so good at this part, making sure that you're washing with full loads. That way, when you're actually running your wash machine, you're getting the most use out of it. You're not just washing like a couple outfits, you're washing full loads. Now let's go on to step number 4. In the garden, plant native plants in your landscaping. The idea behind this is that you can save money on the water you would need to water your garden. And did you know, I didn't know this, 70% of all water use in some parts of the country is used outside of the home. And of this, nearly half of that water is just wasted, just runs off, wasted. So what they suggest is that if you plant plants that are native to your environment, chances are you could use less water because they're used to growing in the environment that you live in. And that moves us to step number 5. Now, this is where I really need to work. This is my biggest step I need to work on. Refrain from purchasing bottled water. My family, we talk about this a lot because we drink a lot of water, and I know that it's bad. A couple of reasons why it's bad. Obviously, we know plastic is bad, right? But a lot of these companies actually use BPA-free plastic. But the problem is that there are other chemicals in plastic that when heated, those chemicals seep out into your water and then you drink it. Why risk it? Why risk it? So the government, to be completely honest, they're still trying to figure out what's the effect of you drinking these chemicals that's released. They don't know. But again, I ask you, why risk it? If you know that chemicals seep out when it's heated, and think about heated. So let's say you grab a bottle of water, especially in the summer, you put it in your car, you run in to run your errand, you get back in, you drink it, it's a little warm. You think to yourself, do I waste it? I only took a sip. Should I just go home and put it back in the refrigerator, make it cold again, drink it again? I know it's not just me. Don't act like it's just me. Is it just me? I know it's not just me. So yeah, don't do that. What the suggestion is instead, right? Because a lot of these plastic bottles don't even get recycled. They end up on our shores. So what they suggest is buying yourself a reusable water bottle. Preferably stainless steel. You can do plastic, but preferably stainless steel. Okay, why? So obviously you get rid of using the plastic bottles altogether, right? But the other thing is several of the companies that actually bottle water are really just bottling water from the tap. Yeah, tap water. There's not as many regulations, and in some cases, they're not even filtering the water that you're drinking. So yes, imagine how much money you will be saving if you just bottle your water, filter your water from the tap, bottle it yourself, and drink it out of your reusable water bottle. So, those are the 5 steps toward reducing your carbon footprint. And not only, again, are you saving the world, right? You're helping to save the planet in which we live, but you're also saving money. Who doesn't want to save money? That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, thank you so much for joining the show. Have an incredible weekend, and I'll see you next week.